everybody that I know there's been a lot of attention to in-person hybrid instruction right now and scheduling, but these teachers are not skipping a beat or distance. Everything is going to be status quo, and they'll be doing pretty much everything the same whether in person or remote. With that being said, I have had emails from some of you asking if you can transition to the hybrid model. And I'm just going to put it out there right now. It will depend. At this point, our fifth grade classrooms are pretty full. So if you choose to go to the hybrid model, we would have to check to see if there's space at this time. So for now, just know that you're in good hands. If you're interested in going into the in-person instruction, me directly. And then again, it will all depend on classroom space.
Great. Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Pettis. We also just wanted to say how extremely thrilled we are that we all got to have our students get to be in our own classroom still. So we're lucky enough to have this all work out, and we're so excited to get to keep all of your kids in our classes. But again, just like Mr. Pettis says, we're not skipping a beat. Everything's still the same. We're moving on. We're pushing forward. But like we said, things are a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Ms. McKenna to go ahead and get started talking about some of our expectations.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rennick. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a journey. This is called Distance Learning is a Marathon, Not a Sprint. A couple years ago, I got the great idea that I was going to be a runner. And I say this a bit tongue in cheek because as a runner, I'm more of a fake runner. I love the race events. I love being in community with other runners, but I don't like training. So I'm just gonna be honest, I don't like training. And as I was thinking about distance learning, I'm like, wow, distance learning has been a bit like my running experience. We didn't get any training for this. Your students didn't get any training for this. We thought it was going to be 2 weeks, and in 3 days, we come up to a year. And so just first off the bat, we're so proud of you, students, for those of you who are online, that you have been pushing through and you have been doing such an awesome job. Now, while I was running, I ran a marathon, and by I mean I ran a marathon. I completed a marathon. I didn't really train for it, and I like to say that mile 17 was my hardest mile. It was my breaking point. I was literally on the phone with my parents saying, "Never let me do this again because this is so hard." And to a degree, right now, this March time is a bit of our mile 17. We are kind of at that breaking point where we need to push through. And as we push through, we're going to be able to finish. And let me tell you, when I finished, it was so great. I got to enjoy a juicy hamburger, ice cold glass of water, and that's what summer is going to be for you. So as soon as we can get to summer, things are going to be awesome. But it is a marathon, and so we are having some tips for you so that we can complete this marathon strong and that you won't be crumbled up in a ball like I was down there at the bottom. So here is something that is really important to us as fifth grade teachers that you as distance students and distance parents know. We are 2 cohorts, we are 2 locations, but we are 1 class. Just because you are doing distance does not mean that you are not a part of Anza school, that you are not a part of your classroom. You are just as much a part of this class. And so we have been working really hard to make sure that you are represented in the physical classroom. And so as teachers, we're going to be reaching out to you, asking you to send us a picture of yourself so we can hang you up in the class and have a wonderful collection of all of our students. And this is a picture that we took of all of the 5th grade. They had a great idea. They wanted to celebrate our principals and say thank you. And so they all made little signs, and we invited them to class and we surprised them by saying thank you. So we are all 1 class community, and it will stay that way because we started the year off together and we're going to end the year off together. All right. So here's a bit of what our daily schedule is going to look like as you are working from home. So from 8:30 to 11, we will have asynchronous work for you to be doing. We are encouraging that students still wake up around 8:30 or 9, that they're not rolling out of bed at 11 a.m. and that they're getting their work done during this time. at 12:20 p.m. Zoom will open. Students need to grab their materials, and then at 12:30 their school day will begin, and at 3 p.m. their school day will end. As teachers, we want to be able to be as accessible to students as possible, but we will be doing live instruction in the morning for our hybrid students, so we will not have access to email from 8:15 to 11. So we just appreciate the patience on that. As we are teaching, we will get to your messages right after. So here are some morning expectations for students. Students, we are expecting that you are completing your asynchronous work in the morning. You can use the to-do list to keep track of all of your work. And then we are expecting that all of your school's work for PLP is checked and turned in on Thursday night, by Thursday night. And then we are also expecting that you are continuing on with your daily 20 minutes of AR reading and your daily 20 minutes of ST Math. Now, here is a fun one. Smile, you are on camera. So distance learning students are being asked to have their cameras pointed towards their face. Now, here is a few reasons as to why. Number one, we miss seeing you. We want to see your face. We want to talk to you. We want you to be a part of our classroom community. Number two, accountability. As the school year has gone on, we have noticed that students have had a bit more of a struggle being engaged and motivated on Zoom. I get it. I have the Zoom fatigue. We all have the Zoom fatigue. But by having your camera on and pointed at your face, that shows us that you're paying attention, you're doing your schoolwork, and that you're not playing video games, texting, running around in circles. I don't know. Now, I say having it pointed towards your face because we've been having a lot of this lately, with just like the little tiny forehead, which in our book might as well have your camera off at the same time because we can't see what you're doing. And so students, we do have 15 weeks. We really want to finish strong. We don't want to just say, whatever, I'm going to start fresh in 6th grade. No, you want to end Anza strong. You want to end Anza proud. So we are putting these accountabilities in place. If there is issues with having the camera on, please reach out to your classroom teacher if you have any concerns, but we are really encouraging that this happens so that students can have that accountability piece. All righty, number 3 or 4, wherever we're at. We have a saying at the McKenna household, and that is early is on time and on time is late. So students, it can be easy now that we're on Zoom to kind of be like, oh, it's 8:29. I better dash to my computer and log on. I know I've been guilty of it once or twice for our staff meetings. So we really want to encourage you, please be on time to your cohort and stay on the call for the entire time. As time has gone on, we have had students who are joining the call later and later, so 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then leaving earlier and earlier, kind of hopping off 10 minutes before the call ends, 20 minutes before the call ends. And as you're doing this, students, you're missing a ton of valuable information. So we need to be treating Zoom school just like if you were in the classroom. So if you were in the classroom, you wouldn't stand up and leave 30 minutes before the school day is over. So we do need to be staying on Zoom for the entire time and showing up on time. Again, we love seeing you. We love seeing your face. And so if you're not there, we feel like we're missing out. We're not whole without you. All right, here are some special things going on for you. We have asynchronous mornings, which are some special Zooms. For PE on Wednesday, we have it at 11:30. It's live with Coach Shackstad. She is awesome. And so I highly encourage you to join this. She is just a ray of sunshine. And then for music has not been canceled just because we have now split our Zooms. So Miss Downer and Miss Rennick, your music Zoom is going to be Thursdays at 10:45 a.m. And for my class, Miss McKenna, your music Zooms are going to be Friday at 9:15. Hello, Pajama Wednesdays. We love Pajama Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, all students will be Zooming from home. We will meet on Zoom at 8:30 a.m. with our classroom teachers, and then we will attend fifth grade forum on Zoom at 9 a.m. So this is a really special treat just for fifth graders. Every Wednesday from 9 to 9:30, we have special guest speakers, we have games, we have awesome community building time. So this is a great way for all fifth grade to come together, even though it looks a little bit different. And no matter if you're a distance student or you're a hybrid student, it's bringing us all together. Then after, from 9:30 to 3 p.m., students will be working on asynchronous work. And this is an awesome day to get work done, any ST math minutes, any AR reading minutes, or any missing work. So this would be the day to do it. So work completion. Work is still happening. Please do your work. So we have had a bit of a drop off on work being turned in. And again, students, I really want to encourage you. It is pedal to the metal, foot on the gas. We are not slowing down just because we're getting close to summer. In fact, we're finishing strong and we're finishing well. So I'm going to pass it on over to Miss Downer, and she's going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like.
So hopefully this slide looks familiar to all of you because you have seen your child's PLP page that has the different tiles for the different subjects. There's language arts, history, math, science, PE, music, and there's Zoom links. These tiles should be opened regularly by your child as they're doing their work, as well as by you as you see what it is that they need to complete that day. In the bottom right-hand corner of each of those tiles is where you will find the updated grade that goes along with that particular subject. Inside each one of those tiles are folders and the work that the students need to complete. If you see a piece of paper that doesn't have any lines on it, like this 1.7 notes, that's exactly what that is. It's information, it's notes that they either need to copy down or notes that they need to use in order to help them do the work that needs to be completed. If they've opened that up and taken a look at it, you'll have a green check mark on that. The one below that with some lines on it, that is something that needs to be submitted. That means that there's actual work that needs to be completed. And those are really important to have green check marks because it means not only have they opened it up, but they've completed it and they've hit the submission button, which is a key piece to actually follow through. I know I've had students, I did it. Oh, I didn't hit the submit button. And as far as we see that there's no work that's been turned in. So it's really important that they do hit that submit. This is a really good place for you to check regularly with your child to make sure that the assigned work has been completed by seeing those green check marks. The other place that you'll want to be checking on regularly is in Clever, which is what that blue C represents. We take our reading skills test and vocabulary test for our reading series through the McGraw-Hill Red Square. They have 2 tests tomorrow. We're back on track. We took a little break. We did some writing a couple weeks, and then before that we were reading a core lit book. But we are back to taking our skills tests for the next couple of weeks. And those skills tests are, there's 2. One of them is a vocab test with 8 vocabulary words that they've been given on a Monday, along with 5 questions that cover the main story that we will have read during the week and discussed. And then there is a skills test that is a cold read. This is a story that we have not read together. It generally follows the same theme from the week. It's got multiple choice questions, match questions, kind of reorganization questions. It always has some sort of a writing prompt with guidelines from us to remind them about how to answer these types of questions so that they can get the full credit for it. But it is through that McGraw-Hill Red Square that you can go in and you can see the test. Please know that the skills test does have the prompt portion needs to be graded separately. The other questions are all graded by the system, but the prompt score, we as teachers need to go in and manually score that. So what your child gets initially may not be the end result because we can go in and give partial credit, but also score that last writing bit. So that would be something that you can keep an eye on. Regularly, weekly, in Monday morning emails, you have a link to our school's PLP work to-do list. This is also in the parent folder. It is also in your child's Zoom tile. It is a working document. We update this daily as things need to be adjusted. So some students I know print it out on Monday and they think they've got the whole week covered. You need to constantly be double checking each day. Tuesday, anything else added, anything taken away, did anything change for Wednesday? You can print it out, but then make adjustments as you go so that you don't miss anything. But it is found in a couple of different places. So as Ms. McKenna said, we are in mile 17 and we do not want to collapse like she almost did. It's not too late. We encourage all of you to spend some time with your children looking at the school's PLP together, making sure that the work has been completed, making sure that everything's got some green check marks next to it. Middle school is 15 school weeks and a summer away. And one of our main goals in 5th grade is to help your students become more independent and more responsible and to really get some good study habits in place. It's been a little tricky because we've been distanced, but we are continuing to try and push your children to be independent, to take responsibility, to be on track with making sure that all of their work is done so that they can go into middle school as strong as possible. So speaking of middle school, it's important to us that the 5th graders feel celebrated for their time in middle school, and teachers and administrators we are in conversations about how to make this time special. So we are going to be reaching out after spring break to let you know how we will be moving forward. In that forum, 5th grade forum on Wednesdays, we are planning on having our middle school counselors address the students, have the middle school principal come and address the students so that there's familiar faces and they can kind of give them a sense of what middle school will be like. Wherever your child is going, most middle schools all function basically the same with a similar type of scheduling mix that's a little different from elementary because they're not with one teacher the whole day. They have multiple teachers. So we will be trying to give them as much information as possible before they go to middle school so that maybe some of those butterflies about starting and moving to a whole new place will be easier. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. You can send questions to the chat and Ms. Rennick will be addressing all of those. So any questions that you may have, go ahead and type them up. We have a few minutes here before some of us get off and get to the school board meeting because we love to Zoom. It's nonstop.
Thanks so much, Ms. Downer. Yeah, just like Ms. Downer said, if you have any questions, send them in the chat. We'll do our very best to answer any questions that you have. If you have specific questions, you're also always, of course, welcome to email your teacher. If you have something specific that you were wondering about, we're happy to answer any of those questions as well. But if you have something you think the whole group could benefit from, feel free to send me a message. My name's Emma Rennick. Just shoot me a message over in the chat and I'm happy to answer anything. Thanks so much, Ms. Downer and Ms. McKenna. You did a fantastic job explaining a little bit more about how distance learning is going to work. Like we said, we know it's a little different with students Zooming in the afternoon. They will need a little bit more support, maybe some reminders in the mornings in order to get their work done. So just some quick check-ins throughout the day, especially in the morning time. Say, hey, how'd your work go this morning? Hey, how's your work going, right? Because it is a little bit different to start school at 12:30 instead of 8:30, and it's going to be an adjustment, and we're all here to support them and you, and we're all here on the same team. So with that being said, I don't have any questions in the chat. Ms. McKenna, have any
can I share something really quick? I just want to share families, even though you're remaining on remote, there is lunch available for our students every single day at Dana. You can do a Dana drive-through. I believe it's between 11:30 and 1. I'll have the teachers email you with the exact times. Oh, I see Ms. Muniz here. Maybe she can tell us. Is it 11:30 and 1? Yes, it's every day at Dana between 11:30 and 1. And also on Fridays, you can actually pick up lunch for the whole weekend. So your child doesn't even have to be with you when you go pick up lunch. You can drive up. You literally hold up how many you need. So if you need 1, 2, or 3, 4 lunches, you just signal them every day, 11:30 to 1. This is for any student, regardless of lunch status, and also on the weekend, on Friday, you get 3 lunches for the weekend. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware.
Great, thanks, Mr. Pettis. Ms. McKenna, have any questions come your way in the chat?
Yeah, and I'll let you answer, Ms. Rennick. So when will students attend ELD?
When will students attend ELD? That's a good question. Definitely reach out to your teacher or Ms. Lonergan, or CC both people on that. The ELD schedule I know has been adjusted, but ELD will continue.
I can add information. The ELD team is going to meet with students in different formats depending on the needs of the student. So some students will receive ELD through, and some students will be invited to participate in ELD in person. But this will all depend on the need of the student and whether or not the parents are in agreement as well.
Great. Any other questions?
That's all the questions on my end, Ms. Rennick.
Easy. All right, you guys are making our job easy. Well, with that then, we hope you guys have a great evening. And like we said, email us any questions that come to your mind at any point. We're here to support you. We're here to support your family, and of course, here to support your students. So please definitely reach out, and we'll talk to you guys soon. You'll hear from us as you always do. So have a good evening. Thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody.